And let's see, we doing this live? Yeah, it looks like we are in fact doing this live. Hello, 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 hello. I am absolutely excited and ecstatic to bring you to our magnificent, lovely little game, Stardew Valley. Now, this is a game that is very near and dear to my heart. I have played it since probably I think it was 2 years after the game came out is when I got my first copy, and I got it for my mobile phone. And on my mobile phone, I got to year 3. Absolutely loved it. After that, I had played this game semi-extensively on my Xbox. Really liked the game. But the Xbox experience just wasn't it for me. It was kind of a... It was a so-so experience, really. But then I played it on my PC, which at the time was an HP laptop. Basically, it was made for schoolwork, and it was one of like 6 games that actually ran well on that laptop. The other ones being games like Oblivion would slug on it, but Spore would run okay-ish. But no, this game is near and dear to my heart, and I'm really excited to have a chance to bring this to the channel. Now, you know how I am, and you know my usual shenanigans that I like to get up to, so we're gonna have to hit the lovely little roulette board of topics to discuss today. And let's see if the roulette board actually has anything for me to speak on. Because sometimes the roulette board is like, let's deal with this one, and I'm like, I really can't afford to. So let's see. The topic of discussion is. Let's see here. Come on, we're rolling, baby. It's spinning. Ooh. Huh. Yeah, I don't really think I want to talk about the value of human life in a digital age. Uh, let's spin that one more time. Because if we get to the end of the discussion and I realize we don't, there might be a bit of an issue. Not for me, more so for YouTube, where they're gonna be like, "Hey, wait a minute, you can't be talking about this." And I'm gonna be like, "Well, realistically, I shouldn't talk about this." So, yeah, we'll just re-roll. All right, ignore that last roll, DM. Let's see. Ooh. You know what? That is something that we can actually do. All right, so we got a topic that is actually a little bit more near and dear to my heart. It comes from TTRPGs in general. Downtime mechanics. So I guess that's what our topic of discussion for the Stardew Valley game is going to be: is downtime mechanics. Uh, what should we name ourselves? Oh, wait a minute. I already said we're named as Mike Oxlong. There we go. Look at that. Mike Oxlong of the, shit. What should we call our farm? Mike's Oxlong, we'll call it Beatnik Farm. What's our favorite thing in the world? I ain't no simp, so I ain't gonna say concerned ape. That is a very, very loud game audio. So we're gonna go over here to the mixer and actually no, I'll just turn it down to the thing because it's blowing my ears out. Favorite thing in the world? We'll say ox. What kind of animal preference have we got? I need to turn that effing music down. It is blowing my brain out. How about the one with the scarf? I haven't seen you before. Let's see. You look cute enough. See if you got some cuter hair, though. I want some, like, fluffy hair. I don't got any mods installed. I'm not a fan of modding this game, because I think this game is fantastic on its own. Beautiful based on its own merits. Hold up. That hair is the hair. That's the hair, ladies and gentlemen. Now let's go and change out our shirt, because we want to not look like a simple boy. We want to look a bit more refined boy. Let's see. Nothing really standing out. That one. We'll skip the intro. What's this? Meadowlands? It's not the best for growing crops, but there's a chewy blue grass that animals love. I start with 2 chickens. I have never played that. And I'm not going to play it today. We'll play with the standard farm. Because we're going to play pretty close to the standard play for this, because I have not touched standard in a very, very long time. Oh, my spine. Oh boy, what's in the box? Parsnip seeds, baby. 15 parsnip seeds. Here's a little something to get you started. Mayor Lewis. Oh, thanks, Mayor. Let's see, what's the weather for tomorrow? It's clear and sunny, huh? Can't wait to get it. Holy shit. What a horrible farm. Absolutely left to ruins. Although I can't blame Grandpapa for, dying. So, when it comes to downtime in a game, especially the TTRPG I play the most is Dungeons and Dragons. Shouldn't be a surprise. But I absolutely hate that game. I really hate Wizards of the Coast. I really liked 2nd edition, and then I played some of 3rd. Didn't really care for 3rd. 3.5 came by, and by then I was so in love with 2nd edition that I didn't even hop on to 3.5. So, although a lot of people say, oh, 3.5 is the greatest version, it's like, yeah, maybe. 4th edition came and went, kind of the most forgettable generation. But as for 4th, I have a lot of 4th edition stuff because it's dirt cheap. Nobody plays that version. And it gives me a lot of creatures to play with. And then the holy grail of D&D in the modern age, 5th edition. And when 5th edition came out, I was actually really skeptical, because by then I was so deep into 2nd. Like, I've been playing 2nd for about 6 years. Now, when I say, like, all these editions came out, it's more they came into my attention. Because I haven't been around for the entire length of D&D like a lot of the older timers have. But by the time I had access to 3rd edition books, because 3rd edition stuff is so expensive. Like, I can't even find 3rd edition stuff anymore. I have 1 book of 3rd edition, and I think I have 2 books of 3.5. But 4th edition is what I got the most of. So when 5th started really popping off in like the 2012s, 2014s, I had already settled into being a 2E guy. But no, this was like a new renewal, and then what really, like the very first D&D 5e book I bought, where I was like, you know what? It's time for me to give it a shot, boys. Spelljammer. And it was that point that made me realize I absolutely hate Dungeons and Dragons. Because by then my party I had played with for 2nd edition, like, the friend group kind of had fallen apart at that point. High school was over, and it was time for me to go and make new routes. And you can't exactly make new routes with 2nd edition because nobody plays it anymore. So, to my horror, 5th edition Spelljammer was an absolute nightmare. There was inconsistent rulings. There were just, like, the thing with the planetary bubbles and the ship types. It was a mess. So what did I end up having to do? I ended up having to homebrew an entire system loosely based off of 5e to essentially get Spelljammer to work. needless to say, it's now its own system that I call Inheritor, and it's an incredibly difficult system if you're not ready for it. But it was the only way to get it to work. And one of these days, I might release the Inheritor docs. But that's its own matter of affairs. And it gets us kind of down to, what do you do during downtime? And downtime is a very important thing when you're playing a Spelljammer campaign. Now, Spelljammer is the name of the ship, but it's also the slang and lingo for all spelljamming ships. Why am I... I'm such a useless bastard. I wasn't even looking at my energy. I was just trying to... Wow. Wow, I hate this game in the first few days. Is there like any forageables I can find? We'll go visit town. There ain't no way I'm gonna be able to plant anything today, which kinda sucks. Well, I got 500 gold. I might be able to go and grab some bread or some shit. Might find a loaf in the trash. So, as we were saying, like, downtime becomes incredibly essential when you're playing Spelljammer. Because a lot of your travel time is now no longer, oh, we're walking around through the forest. It's, we're on a boat in space. What do you do during these long expeditions between asteroids, planets, moons, and stuff like that? And that was kind of one of the big hurdles I had getting into 5th edition, is they don't have any of that stuff in your player manual. At least not in the Dungeon Master's manual for it. Which you would think that they would, considering downtime is an essential part of it. So, using what I could from their game and what I could from my own attempts. Yeah, I do need a hot meal, man. You got like anything for less than 500? 50 energy, 75 energy, 113. Gives me +1 speed for a minute. That's the one. Yes. Eat the tumka soup. That'll give me just enough energy to at least plant some of these, because I'm going to have to then water them. And if I'm overexerted watering, that's fine. So it becomes incredibly essential when you're what's the word I'm looking for? When you're in space travel, to figure it out. So I had to pull from all these other sources, and I came to the conclusion that the very best thing I could do would probably be basically fishing. Which, I know, it's crazy. Like, why would you want to go fishing in space? Well, what else are you gonna do? Like, it's called the Astral Sea. What about an astral fish? So, what I ended up making was a 1D100 fishing chart, and then a difficulty rating for each fish. And my players absolutely loved their little fishing mechanic, but it's really not something that I should have had to make as a DM. It was one of those things where the dungeons, like the handbook for the Dungeon Master for Spelljammer, should have had that. It should have at least included it, you would think. But they chose to just kind of cheap out. Got my first party together, and we set ourselves up in this little pirate planet. And it went pretty good. A lot of the piracy happens off-world, but started out, regular campaign, pretty good. Campaign dwindles over the 3 years we were playing it, but that's okay. It's to be expected. But the world didn't diminish for me, so I still run that world. But when you get to that point, you need to come to the realization of what do you do? You got some new ideas to sleep on. Nice. I got my foraging up. So, what's my first recommendation if you're going to be spending a long haul journey on say, a boat? Well, you're going to want to make some mini games, and I'm not talking like going out and programming. I'm talking like you're going to want to learn how to throw some dice, play some cards, flip coins, basically any kind of game of chance you can come up with, and you're going to need to learn how to do it yourself. Like, there's not a lot of hand-holding that goes on with these 5e books, which, for someone brand new to 5e, really pissed me off. I still don't own the 5th edition Dungeon Master's Guide, and if I do, I don't remember buying it. But I probably need to get it, all things considered. There we go. Go to sleep for the night. Foraging. I can now make the field snack. Nice. And trees will drop seeds. Hello. Hello there. Just got back from a fishing trip. You should come down to the beach sometime. I've got something for you. Alright, Willie. You're my favorite secondary in this game because you're how I make most of my money because I love the fishing mechanic. But no, you come to realize there's not a lot of hand-holding you get. Actually, I think I did buy one of the DM guides. I think I bought the DM guide 2. Damn it, now I need to go read all those books again. Yeah, whatever. I have a whole bunch of D&D books, and most of them are from 2nd edition and 4th, so... Heaven forbid the 5th edition books slid my mind. Whatever. And I know, like, oh, the DMD guide, the Dungeon Master Guide for 5th edition has a lot of the stuff I'm complaining about. But it's not setting specific to Spelljammer. So, to revamp it for your game, you need to realize what is your setting. Are you more streamlined D&D? Strahd, perhaps? A lot of people... Oh, Geode. Like, a lot of people are a big fan of Strahd. And, to be fair, I could see why. I've never ran it. I played in it for... I think we had 4 sessions before some stuff came up. And then we just stopped playing, so... Like, I enjoyed the setting. It's basically like, oh, you're stuck in the woods, Bavarian Castle, here we go, let's go do some shit with the Vampire Lord. And then, yeah, it's basically everyone's introduction at this point to 5e. And for the box itself, it's actually a relatively cheap box set. It's like about $100, which doesn't sound cheap, but compared to everything else in D&D, that is actually relatively cheap. Can I make a furnace yet? I cannot. But considering my crops are watered and I have no money, I'm gonna go visit Willie and we're gonna get our Willie wet. So you need to really consider your setting. I'm more space pirates, corporates, like the corporations, stuff like that. So I needed to have a little bit more of a modern science fantasy setting as opposed to the kind of setting that you would expect from your typical D&D. So like, yes, there are taverns and stuff. You can come across like space taverns and like, but ooh, field snack, thank you. But what do? Well, you stop into a tavern, get yourself some drink, play some cards, throw some dice. So you might want to learn some dice games yourself, card games too. Oi there, son. Oh boy. Heard there was a newcomer in town. Good to finally meet you. Well, you see, I'm a bit of an old-timer myself. My grandpa used to live here, and, well, it was, oh, hi, you have very blue eyes. I'm still trying to unwind from a month out on the salty seas. It was a big haul. I sold a lot of good fish. Finally saved enough to buy me a new rod. How did you now? Very well, that's very good for you. I want you to have me old fishing rod. Why, thanks, Willie. It's important to me that the art of fishing stays alive. And maybe I'll buy something from the shop once in a while. Well, you see, Willie, that's a very funny thing for you to say, because in every single one of my playthroughs, you are a money sink for me. There's good water here in the valley. All kinds of fish. You got very blue eyes, my friend. Blue as the sea. Oh yeah, my shop's back open now, so come by if you need supplies. Well, you see, I absolutely could do that for you. Also buy anything you catch. Now you see, you're talking my language. If it smells, it sells. That's what my old pappy used to say anyway. Ask any woman of the night, sir. Alrighty, yeah. So, what kind of thing would you do in a tavern? You got your regular avenues. You know, buy a drink, buy some food, stop for the night, stop for a few nights, maybe pick up a quest from the local tavern keep. These are all downtime activities, in my opinion. A downtime activity is anything that is away from a structured quest. And downtime activities can become structured quests for sure. Are they necessarily structured? Not really. Oh, I forgot how small this bar is. Oop. Go on. And just a minute. I didn't realize how hard this fishing would be. There we go. Herring, 8 inches. And what do I mean by that? Well, if you want your friends to go out on a little bit of a dungeon, send them on a dungeon. I'm gonna buy this one. Because the training rod is a good way to boost your levels. Because you're not really getting a lot of high quality fish at the very start anyway. Like, that comes usually at a higher level. So this will help with our stream. Anyway. So what exactly are we looking for when we're doing downtime? You're going to want 3 things. 1, it's going to be fun. 2, it's going to be narrative based. And 3, it's got to be engaging to your player. That should be very much in line with what you need to do. It should also be essential to keep your players engaged. Your party is the soul and backbone of your game. Now, if they're the soul and backbone of your game, what does that make you? Well, you are essentially everything else, inside and outside. You're the meat, you're the muscle, you're the marrow. You make the world work. And as a good DM, you should know that. So, what do you want to do as a downtime? Well, let's have a drink. Let's have 3. What are we doing after 6 drinks? Oh boy, I think I should have stopped at 10. Oh, here we are, 20 down, and suddenly the party's all blackout. What do you wake up to? Well, why not have it be something similar to the, what was that one movie? The Hangover? And now they have to go and piece together what the hell they just did for the last night. One of them wakes up with, like, lipstick on, one of them wakes up in a dress, and the third one wakes up with a sword sticking out of their ribs. And it's like, we must have had a pretty wild night. Come to find out, no, the one with the lipstick ended up making out with a pig. The one in the dress ended up getting married to a satyr in the woods. And the one with the sword ended up getting into a fight with a very upset barbarian. What do you mean you called your mother a slag? So you get along and on, and it gets to that point where it's like, alright, that's fun. That's neat. That's something we can do. But does everyone want to do that? No. So you take your spaceship to the next bar. Well, it's going to be 3 days to the next bar. And it's about 2 months until you get to your destination so you can continue your quest. So what do you do now? Well, let's tend to that wound. We got a new sword. Let's clean that up. Sharpen the blade. Why not take on a bit of smithing? What's your ship equipped with? Does your ship have a kitchen? If it doesn't have a kitchen, why don't you have a kitchen on your ship? You should have a kitchen on your ship. Why not teach your players how to cook? Why not have your players come up with some recipes? Have the recipes be based around stuff in your world. Does your astral sea have a lot of eels? Work eels into your recipe. And if you can't work eels in because someone has dietary restrictions or is a little bitch that won't eat an eel, make the eels be... have eels be a slang word for some sort of, like, spaghetti monster. Space-based spaghetti monsters became really big after the rise of the Pastafarians. So why not have some sort of, like, flying spaghetti monster be your D&D, like, level 1 fish catch? Is that a pile of bolognese or a pile of brains? Who knows? But you continue on, and what's next? Well, now we've got cooking down. Every ship needs a place to cook. That's great. What about netting? You need a Fletcher on your ship? Well, why not? So one of your guys decides to take up making nets and stuff. Probably the ranger. Or maybe a druid. Perhaps a fighter wants to learn how to handle nets. And that takes you on this whole little side tangent. Okay, cool. We've now got someone learning to make nets. How about learning to throw it? Why not put a little bit of roleplay into that activity? Why not give them a weaponized net? Something that they can throw that acts as an extended grapple. If they throw their net, say that the net has grapple up to 25 feet. On a successful netting, where you catch someone in it, say that they can be grappled for one turn unless they have a strength or dexterity or willpower, or strength, dexterity, or constitution break of, say, 12 or 6. Something that's fairly easy. It's just a net. But, see, that's the kind of stuff. Like, your roleplay and your downtime should lead into... I forgot to turn down the bloody fucking noise. I am so sorry, guys. I didn't even think about that. Like, once the music stopped, I didn't even realize it. There we go. Let's see. Can I actually turn on the... I like changing out my fishing thing. Because I like the little, what the hell is it called? The little rubber ducky. Fishing bite sound. Da, 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 do, do. I can't find it right now. So why not have your downtime turning into something else? Well, now we've got someone who makes the nets and we've got someone who does the cooking. Do you make your own shot? I'm not talking about the kind of Fletcher that would make like arrows and stuff. Does the Fletcher make rope? Hold up, now I'm confused. Does the Fletcher actually make nets? Yahoo, what do you got to say about that? Do Fletchers make nets? Let's see. Damn it. Oh, I want that chest more. Alright, let's see. Do Fletchers make nets? Fletcher International Exports does mutton. Huh. Apparently they only make arrows. Wait a minute. What is the job title of a net maker? Would it be like weavers? Whatever, you guys know what I'm talking about. And now my little bit of an ADHD-tism moment decided to not do that twice. That mic needs to be moved over there. Apologies if you were hearing my horrible breathing. I'm a little bit sick all the time. So here we are about half an hour in, and I think that I have taught you nothing. In fact, I think I have probably caused damage to your brain. But, what's next? Do you make your own shot? Let's say you make your own shot. You've got a small, like, blacksmithing station in your ship. That would be pretty neat. Does the barbarian or the warrior, maybe the paladin, or hell, why does it have to be class specific? Maybe one of your characters just really likes making stuff with metal. What do they make with metal? Are they a blacksmith or a whitesmith? They're a blacksmith. Like, are they working with iron or steel? If they're a whitesmith, what kind of lighter metals are they working with? Tin, aluminum? Or maybe they are a precious metal smith, like working with silver, gold. Who knows? And that gives you, like, that gives you a lot of different venues, but here's the big three. Are they making armor and weapons? Are they making light armor and weapons, such as chainmail? Or I guess not chainmail. What does a whitesmith make? Maybe chainmail. Or are you making, like, jewelry? Are you a precious metalsmith who's making ornate trinkets and gold and all that stuff? And are you selling it town to town to town to try to up your numbers? Maybe you need a little bit more supplies for your next run. So you stop into a town, port, and what do? Well, I'm going to go out to the local smiths and see if they have any gold, any silver. And I'm going to buy their bars of gold and silver. And you see, that also gets down to the interesting conundrum for me of what kind of currency do you use? I like to use the intergalactic standard credit, which I think, well, in my game it's called the interplanetary standard credit, otherwise known as an SSTA credit. The reason I use those was because we're a little bit more of a science fantasy setting and less science fiction. And a whole lot less fantasy. Because it just was not fitting with my view of Spelljammer, so we kind of had to tweak that. But the credit, not really something you can melt down, but my game has a dual financial system where we also have the legacy coins. So perhaps, instead of your jeweler going around and spending their gold on gold bars, they just melt down your gold. And what's your conversion rate for that? Do you get, say, like, can every single gold coin be made into a gold ring? Look at that. We made 510. Not a bad start. I don't like looking over and seeing how many dropped frames I have. I have 1,527. Wait a minute, it's Wednesday. Wednesday is Queen of Sauce Day. Apparently fucking not. So we're going to leave the bamboo pole, the watering pail, and we are going to take this geode to Clint. So, what do you want your conversion rate to be? Let's say it takes 2 gold coins to make 1 gold ring. Well, what do you sell a gold ring for? If you can only sell a gold ring for 5 silver, then there's no point in making a gold ring for 2 gold. And we use the simplified, version of the currency in our game. We don't use Electrum. So it just goes copper, silver, gold, and platinum, each one being a denomination of 10 of the other. So, in doing so, 9, okay. Yoink. So, in doing so, you're going to come up with a little bit more intricate and fancy things that you're going to want to do. Say that you go down this jeweler's tree. Well, how far down it can you go? Let's say you get really good at jeweler, and suddenly that gold ring that took 2 gold coins to make for 5 silver now takes 1 gold coin to make for 1 gold. And it's like, well, why would I do that? Well, and it's easy. It's downtime. It's just a hobby. And not all hobbies are productive. Not all hobbies make money. But that's the world building. That's the character development. If you're not good at something, you do it until you're better. But let's say that silver ring you made with a silver coin, let's say that you can sell it for 5 silver. Suddenly, you're making money on the silver, but not on the gold. And now you've got a business. Now you're making money. And all it takes is 30 minutes of your character's downtime. And you got 2 days to the next port. How many rings can you make? And if it's just your character doing it for fun, like, they don't have to spend the whole time making silver rings. Because it costs you a silver every time you do it. And some would say, oh, but that's an infinite money glitch. And it's like, oh yeah, that's capitalism. You turn something useless into something useful. You turn something with low value into something with high value. That's why junk dealers make money. I'm not saying that a silver ring is useless, but think about it. To you, that's just a silver coin. To someone like this unnamed character who looks at that silver coin and says, you know what? I'm going to mill out the middle, temper it, expand it, and then put it down a ring gauge so it's this size. And then I'm going to add a whole bunch of my detailing, polishing, time, labor, and effort, and suddenly this useless piece of metal is now a useful piece of metal. Not to me, but maybe to someone. Or let's say you got a wizard in the party, and he's like, wow, jeweler in the party, you make a lot of rings. Now, I could enchant these rings, and we can make your silver ring worth more. And suddenly that silver ring worth 5 copper, or 5 silver, is now worth a whole gold. And it's like, wow, I really like that idea. And what would my take be? Well, because you're doing all the work of making the silver ring, I'm going to only ask for a little bit, because enchanting doesn't take long for me, and I just need to keep my craft home. I'll take, say, 3 silver, and you can have 7 silver for the ring. And it's like, well, why would you want to do that? You're losing money on that. And it's like, probably. But what if the wizard is also wanting to learn how to barter? Say he's got a little bit of that mercantile skill inside of him. Well, what do you do then? Very simple. Hey, buddy. I got this thing here called a geode. You want to crack it for me? 5 whole copper, huh? Neat. Why, thanks, Clint. I don't know what to do with that copper. 75. Clint is the biggest ripoff in the game. Anyway. And it's like, what if the wizard wants to get into mercantile? But let's say that he starts to get really good at enchanting. And let's say that our little silversmith is actually getting even better at it. I'm saying he's getting really good at it even. Suddenly that silver ring isn't worth 5 silver anymore. And he goes to the wizard and says, hey, this ring's really good. I've now got a stone inlaid into it. It's now got ornate quality. Let's try to sell this silver ring for a gold piece. And the wizard's like, well, here's the funny thing. I've also gotten really good at enchanting. And let's look at your silver ring there, and that is worth a gold piece. But if I were to put an enchantment on it, I bet we could sell it for 5 gold pieces. And now the jeweler's like, 5 whole gold pieces, what's my cut of that? And the wizard's like, I'll give you 2 gold pieces, but I want 3. And the silversmith is like, well, that's 2 more than we had. And it only cost me a silver to make it, and maybe another silver for the stone. Can I even put anything on it? Oh, I can't. Oh well. And now the wizard and the jeweler are like, alright, so it costs you 2 silver to make it, and I could give you 2 gold. And I'm over here being a wizard, and I'm really good at my craft. I'm going to turn that very mundane ring into a very enchanted ring and sell it for 5. That's how capitalism works. You take something mundane, and you give it value. I don't know where to find a catfish at this hour, buddy. That's part of life. Because he started off by selling it at a small profit, using very little of his time or effort, and turned it into a more refined skill. And they both profit at the end of the day, and as long as the system of greed is understood, that the value of making a silver ring is a little bit less than the value of enchanting it, then both parties still walk away happy. They don't need more, and they don't need less. Now let's say down the line, they eventually get back into making gold rings. Well, I could sell this really ornate gold ring for 10 gold. It's worth a whole platinum. And then the wizard's like, I could turn that 10 gold ring into, say, a 50 gold ring by putting this enchantment on it. Now you've come into an issue. That gold ring is now worth 5 platinum. You can't sell that to any Tom, Dick, and Harry. And by the time you get to your next tavern, nobody can afford it. So now you've got this useless ring, and it's like, well, what do I do with it now? I'm a really good silversmith. And the wizard's like, well, I'm a really good enchanter. What do we do? And it's like, well, what if we just start bulk making our stuff, and then we just sell it when we're in the cities? And suddenly your players are both, like, talking to each other. They're getting into it. Getting into their game a little bit. And it's all because you gave them the opportunity of doing downtime, or one's like, hey, I want to make metal rings, and the other one's like, hey, I want to learn to enchant. And that's world building, and that's role play, and that's important. And it's like, now what do you do? It's like, cool. How many rings can you make? Let's say that you make 500 rings, and they're each worth 5 gold. And let's say that the wizard's enchantment makes each of those worth 50 gold. And it's like, wow, how many rings is this? Well, let's say that we just did 500 of them, they're each worth 50. That comes up to a very large number. That's what, 25,000? So suddenly you've got players walking around and they're like, oh, we have 25,000 gold worth of rings. And this is where the downtime gets fun. Because now they have a target on their back. Now the pirates know that ship there is the gold runner. That's the ring maker. They make enchanted rings. How many rings do they have? They have hundreds of rings. And now you have an opportunity to throw your players into some combat. Now they're being hunted for their skills, hunted for that talent, because they can make the money. Isn't that fun and fascinating? That's how you revamp your downtime. That person right there has his window open, and I just noticed, and it's a raining day. And now you're being chased by bandits. And you got the bandits after your ass. And what do they want? Well, they want your magic rings. They don't know you make them, they just know you have them. And let's say that the bandits win. Suddenly you're kidnapped by bandits. And they're like, hey, wait a minute, don't kill us. I can make rings. And this other guy's like, yeah, and I can enchant them. And they're like, wait a minute, you guys make magic rings? And then the party's like, yeah, we make magic rings. And suddenly you have a shaky alliance with a bandit faction if your charisma's high enough, which your charisma should be going up considering how many frickin' rings you're making and selling. Like, look at all the rings you have. Look at all the magic you do. You should be able to also talk your way out of being killed by bandits. Like, that is the fun and magic of D&D roleplay. And it's all started because you as a DM let your players do that. Isn't that awesome? To me, that's awesome. But I'm a bit of a capitalist myself. I very much enjoy mercantilism. I don't know. I've always been a bit of a business guy, business oriented. When I was a kid, I sold snake skins. Went out, killed snakes in fields, skinned them, dried them, tanned them, skinned them. Kept the process going, skinned them some more, tanned them some more. Eventually, yeah, I was pretty good at doing all that. Can I tan a skin for a snake these days? Heck, if I can remember. Maybe I could walk through the steps again, but it's been so long, I don't even know how to put the pins into the skin to stretch it. But this is the stuff that's always excited me. Now, not every D&D party is going to be like, I want to start a business empire selling gold rings out of gold coins. They're just not going to be interested. But to those of you that are, let's keep talking to you, because I'm interested. Now let's say that the banks start to get involved, and they're like, hey, we've noticed that there's a lot of these legacy currencies that are going out of circulation. And the banks are like, well, that's not really an issue for us. We use the credit. And then the banks are also like, but at the same time, all these coins, we hoard coins. Now, let's say that bandit faction you worked with is a little scrupulous, and you have a bit of a deal going with them, that they procure coins for you. And in exchange, you give them enchantments on their equipment. Let's say one of those bandit factions go and knock up a bank, steal all their legacy coins. And the bank's like, what the hell just happened here? And the bandits are running out with all these coins. So then the banks send people after the coins, after the bandits, because they don't really care that the bandits just killed everyone in there. They're like, what the hell did you steal from us and why? They eventually find out it's your little boat with a jeweler and a wizard that basically put a hit out on that bank. And now you've got the banks after you. You've got this galactic banking system like, holy shit, what have you done? Now they're after your ass. And it's like, hey, listen. We kind of want you dead, but you can pay a fine. And it's like, well, what's the fine going to cost me? And it's like, well, the fine's going to cost you, say, 250,000 credits, okay? And you're like, oh, shit. Now, in my game, credits are at a 1-to-1 conversion rate for a copper coin, so 250,000 would be, what, divided by 100? That's like 2,500 gold. It's not bad. It's actually pretty cheap considering how much money you guys are making. And you're like, okay, well, we can just pay off the fine. Or you can now get into a big old blood feud with the banking clans and the entire... You can get it, like, there's so much shit you can get out of these downtime things. Because downtime makes your character work. There's a huge difference between what is and what is not. And if you want to be an is, then you have to understand how to not be a not. Now, funnily enough, what happens when you turn that gold ring in? And we got neutral today. Nice. Hi, Clint. Hi there. Good morning. I noticed that you've been breaking some rocks open and finding ore. That's good. If you want to get the most out of the ores you find, you'll need a furnace. Just so happens I had an extra set of blueprints lying around. Here, I want you to have them. Oh, thanks, Clint. It's really beneficial to me, considering I have enough to make 2 bars. The furnace allows you to smelt metal bars. The bars can be used for crafting, construction, and tool upgrades. When you've smelted a few copper bars, consider having me upgrade one of your tools. It can make your work a lot easier. Well, okay. I'm headed home. Take it easy. Neat. So, if I remember, it takes coal and stone to make one of those. Let's see. No, it takes 20 copper, though. Gosh. And the funny thing is, I've actually not been, So what we're gonna do is we're gonna water our crops. And I think I'm gonna spend today chopping more trees. I'm also not all that concerned about actually finishing the community center. We're just having a nice little playthrough. But anyway, you see how much can come out of that simple line of let's give our players something to do when they travel? The ship setting is so much better for it too, because now it's like you're stuck in a small, safe area, relatively safe. You're not going to get attacked a lot when you're in space. Like the number of things to not things, it's pretty good ratio. But all of that came from just downtime. That was a long talk about all the stuff that could happen. So what do you do now? Well, let's go back and say that your players didn't want to go down that path. Because, again, it's a bit of a niche to want to be into the mercantilism, business empire kind of stuff. But let's say that they wanted to fish the astral sea. They wanted to get that space fish, you know? And you absolutely could. And we'll keep it quick. We'll wrap up this game week and then we'll be on our way. So what do you do with players who don't really want to... Actually, what is a game week? Is it C for calendar? Hold up, is there even a calendar? No, I actually have to go to the town calendar because I forgot about that. If I remember, there's 28 days, so there should be Monday through Sunday. We're on Thursday. Yeah, we got time. So on the Astral Sea, let's say that one of your guys wants to be a good fisherman. Not just a fisherman, he wants to be a predatory fisherman. He wants to hunt the big fish. That's really good for you. It means that you can have a lot of monster encounters during your travels. It takes away the whole surprise of attack element, unless some of those predators are ambush predators. Let's say you go near an asteroid field and some of the asteroids actually turned out to be like space crabs. Why not? Like, what's really stopping you? It's just your own creativity, really, at the end of the day. So, your player decides, I'm going to hunt these predatory fish. Well, he starts hunting them, and the party's always got food. And he's learning how to attack better, and he's doing better at it. He's hunting more and more of these big old space sharks, let's call them for now. Eventually, another player's like, hey, what are you doing with all these shark teeth? And your guy's like, well, nothing really. And the guy looking at all the shark teeth and is like, you know these things are made of metal, right? You've been hunting these space sharks. They've got asteroid teeth. And it's like, let me upgrade your weapon. And now you got like, yeah, I get that I'm always overexerted. This is just the worst part of this game, is the opening. I hate how little you can actually do in this game at the start. I guess I'll go around and talk to townsfolk. I'm not giving them all voices, by the way. I just can't afford to. Like, I can't pull off a girl's voice to save a life. And it's like, well, I can upgrade your weapon with this, and let's say that he's really attached to his weapon, right? Like, it's a specialty. It's a little dirk he got from his family way back in the day, and it's like, why would I do that? But let's say that you start upgrading your weapon. Okay, yeah, so there are 7 days in a week. Need seaweed to pair with a dry red wine this evening. Robin. Well, it's funny, I have a seaweed, so I'll just go grab that and bring it to you. So, what do? Well, if your players are given the option to customize their equipment, and it's like, oh, hey, player, guess what? You've now upgraded a piece of your equipment. You can now give it a name. And your player's gonna be like, wait a minute, I can name my stuff? Yeah. What do you want to name it? And he gives it some generic name like Throat Slitter, right? Suddenly, he's no longer wielding a regular weapon. That's his weapon. And that's how you get into it. Like, you need to play into your characters, and it's less about making your players play the game and more making them live it. Hey, you're Robin, right? I haven't met everyone yet, but I got this. Hey, you brought me the item I asked for. It looks perfect. Here's your payment as promised. Well, that's good for me, because I'm a little bit of a broke bitch. Hey, are you Darius? Demetrius. I don't really care about any of your stuff. I don't like you. I just don't like how he treats the poor boy. My poor baby boy, Sebastian. Anyway. So no, it really just comes down to experience. No, don't eat the leek. It's for this guy. Look at him, he's homeless. That's a good find. I'm always happy when eating wild food. Thank you. Yeah, it's good to see you too. Nice to meet you, Linus. So, suddenly it becomes their weapon, their item, their mark on the world, and they have something. And here's the fun thing with that. Let's say they die. They die tragically years later. And let's say that you decide, you know what, I'm gonna have a second campaign with the same group of people. After 2 of the party members died and 1 of them retired, years down the road, a new evil rises. And let's say that all of their equipment's personalized and customized, right? Well, way down the road, he comes up to find out, well, guess what? I didn't know Marie was a nurse. Anyway, now that I've met you, I can now leave and never come back to this building because I always forget that it's there. And we'll meet these 2 people while I'm here. Mr. Mike Oxlong, the new farmer. If you look at the seeds, my shop is the place to go. I'll also buy produce from you for a good price. Yeah. Something or other, right? Oh, let's see. So I'm gonna want... Give me 5 potatoes and 10 collie. And we can call it a day. And you know what? Here, take a dandelion. And a leek and some daffodils. And give me 3 beans. 5 beans. And you see, now we're stuck in the part where most of my energy is going to be taken up by the farming. Which I'm not happy about, by the way. The spring season's my least favorite. Spring 2 is actually pretty good, though. Now that we have more of this area cleared out. Right, we did that, and now I can go ahead and grab that last field snack. Nice. And that should give me enough energy to water. But, yeah, so as I was saying, like, let's say you start your second campaign, and what do you eventually find? You find a bandit lord, right? And this bandit lord's been known as a huge problem in the last 20 years. And what does he have except the last player's special enchanted knife? And it's like, oh, this is now a personal fight. It's all because you gave him a little chance to do some downtime activities. Personalize themselves into your world. Make it feel like it's a bit special, you know? Like, that's so freaking cool, dude. I can't believe that my weapon became like this thing that these bad guys use. That's so awesome that I left a mark in your game. And it's like, yeah, you did, dude. And this is now a part of the world lore. And like, that's a sign of you being a good DM too. Is just, your players now feel like they've done something impactful and meaningful. Isn't that special when you do something like that for someone in your game? And isn't that also why we play D&D? We play it to feel cool at the end of the day. It ain't nothing cooler than coming to realize, oh my gosh, my weapon, I get reunited with my weapon. Like, my character, he doesn't know the significance of this weapon. This weapon here, I fought Malrog, the Death Eater, with this weapon. This weapon is a legendary to me as a player, and now I have it back. I get my weapon back. And suddenly, you feel like a fucking stud, dude. And you're like the cool DM, and that's how you should do it. And like, that's something that matters a lot to these players. Because, like, at the end of the day, it is... I don't care that I'm sluggish. Like, that is what matters to these people, is you need to make them feel like what they do in your game matters. What they do in your world matters, even. Because they're spending their time there, too. My guy is so close to dying, and I hate him so much, because he never has energy. And then the next day, he's going to have what? No energy. Hi. Hello, Mike Oxlong. You see this dog here? I do. Good boy. I found it sitting outside the entrance to your farm. I think it's a stray, poor thing. It does look like a poor thing. Hey, it seems to like this place. Hey, don't you think this farm could use a good dog? And I'm thinking, oh shit, tapped on the wrong screen. Of course I want that dog. Well, if my name is Mike Oxlong, his name is clearly Jack Goff. Well, Jack Goff, you be a good pooch now, okay? Good boy. Good boy, Jack Goff. You're such a good boy, Jack Goff. And it's like, this is what matters to your players, is like, they need to feel like what they've done to your world is a thing that they've done to your world. And we've now got parsnips. Neat! So we got 2 silver parsnips, so I'm gonna keep... no, we could sell the silver ones, but I'm gonna keep 5 of the regular ones, and we'll come over here and sell these. Do I value Joja Mar? Yeah, I don't have anything to say to you, Joja. Let's see. We'll get some watering done, and then I'll go get some more parsnips. Let's see, how long until I can make a sprinkler? No idea. And it's all because you let your characters customize their equipment. Customize their weapons, give it names and stuff. Like, at the end of the day, those are the marks of good DM, is you made your players matter in your world and they left their mark. And not all of them are going to say. And when some of your players leave, you do come to realize, oh, their equipment mattered to me too. Like, I've lost players over the years too. And yeah, some of their equipment still has their place in my game world. It's not like just because they're gone, the mark they left in my world and story building and narration has just disappeared. If anything, it's still a big part, and if anything, it's an even bigger part because they're just not there anymore. The only person that it matters to now is me. So when your new player picks up this enchanted sword, which is basically just a flame tongue ripoff that has +2 to attack and deals lightning damage, right? And they are given the name, and the name of the sword calls out to them, and it says that its name is Deathweaver. And it's like, well, that's a cringy name. And like, you're like, yeah, it is cringy. It means a lot to me. Isn't that fun? I think that's fun. It is an eyesore, Mayor. Community center? Buddy, if this is how your community center looks, I don't think you care about the community. Like, this is your feeling as a mayor, man. Come on, let's clean it up. I'm sure they would. But guess what? You made it illegal to go outside and have fun. Can't skateboard the rails. Can't run around and swing sticks at each other. You took away all the fun, asshole. Shit, me and my buddies used to beat each other with sticks all the time, and guess what? You can't do that anymore. I'm getting an assault charge now. I don't want to keep reading this. I want to keep talking and playing. Apologies, but ugh. Everyone and their grandma has played this game by now, and I'm not about to add new commentary to it. I'm just going to keep talking about the things I want to talk about, because that's what I always do. 30 minutes, huh? Yeah, it's open at noon. Cool. Well, I'll just come down here, shuffle this trash can, and then we can go back up to Pierre's. But it's that kind of stuff that really makes your world more alive. It's the downtime. Because everyone's going to remember fighting the big boss. Like, that's a big... Like, that's the push pin in that story. But the things that really stick out to your players the most... It's hardly ever the boss. If anything, the things that stick out the most to the player is just the fun little moments. That time one of them got so drunk that they threw up on a barbarian and the barbarian beat the shit out of the party. That's memorable. But they're not going to remember every fight. Not going to remember every little moment either. The things that matter the most to your players are often the little stuff. We'll get better organization of the farm when I have more stuff to kind of plant. Right now I'm trying to get it all set up for quality sprinklers, though. There we go. So, what should you do for your downtime? Really, the thing you should be doing is just make it matter. Like, having your downtime being a jump cut, it takes away a lot of what D&D is. And D&D at the end of the day is, you go from point A to point B, you kill a dragon, save the girl, and live happily ever after. But what's all the stuff between point A and point B? Like, old Dungeons and Dragons was a lot more dungeons. And that's kind of a bit of the magic I really like about 5e is there is a little bit more freedom for players. At least they think there's more freedom. The game has always been what it is. And what it is always just bullshitting with your friends for a few hours every week. Or if you're not lucky enough to have it every week, at least every other week. Maybe once a month even. Don't worry about the patches, they'll be updated in time. Like, these are not the most efficient fields. Because if a sprinkler goes here, that means another sprinkler would go here. But I want them in rows of 5 for now since I don't have sprinklers. Still, like, as we move on towards other stuff and other parts, and where is that dog? I want to pet that dog. I mean, we got some energy. I'll crack some rocks. But when you go around more and more like that, like, the things that matter are the small stuff. What's another kind of downtime you could do? Well, let's say that they don't have a lot of decision to customize customize weapons and the like. Maybe they really want to go fight dungeons. Well, how do you make your downtime happen in a dungeon? Make the dungeon expansive, but give it save rooms. Like, how do you extensively clear an area of the dungeon? You set your traps. You set up, like, your defense. And what's those quiet moments around the campfire? Is it even safe to have a campfire? Maybe you have an arcanist who can make a spell of light. Maybe one of your characters is scared of the dark. It's like, why would you be down here fighting in a dungeon? And it's like, what's your reason, player? Why are you here if you're scared of the dark? And it's like, well, this is why I'm here. This is why I have to fight. Giving your players time to just talk, just let their characters develop and grow, makes your downtime matter, makes your sessions matter. Because the worst thing that you can do as a player is be ignored or be bored. Because if you're ignored or bored, that's how you lose your interest in your game. No one player matters more than any other two. That said, no two players matter more than any other one. Now, we all have our favorite players. We really do. The ones who show up on time, ready to go, and they're excited to be there, and they're just a delight every single session that they're in. We all have that player. And if you don't have that player, maybe you need a new group. Because if you hate being at your game, then there is something much worse going on, where it becomes a chore to entertain children. That's not fun. Come on. There we go. Well, that's... Oh, dog's in there. Well, that's kind of all the energy I had for today, so we will have to sleep and start again tomorrow. Did I even sell my parsnips? I did. Yeah, we're fine. Alright, what's the weather tomorrow? Clear and sunny. Nice. Ooh, watering can and hoe proficiency, and I get a scarecrow and a cherry bomb. Bright and early, it's another day. So, as per downtime in a dungeon, like, have them tell stories. Have them, like, examine the structure, the architecture. If you're not really a creative person, yeah, you're gonna have a bit more of an issue with this, because who's a good boy? I was so tempted to name that dog Red Rocket, and I really had to remember Jack Goff is a much better name. I love this. I love how this farm's actually looking, because usually when I play this game, my farms never look this clean and organized. Oh, they're never decorated, ever. So, what do you do in a dungeon? Well, in a dungeon, tell stories. Study architecture. Make traps. Maybe you want to, like, spar. Test your weapons out. And if you don't want to, like, test live weapons, have them swing sticks. Maybe they find some metal rods. What if one of those metal rods ends up being the immovable rod? Or the rod of 7 pieces? Like, there's 101 things you could do for dungeon downtime. And honestly, most of them suck. Like, they really do. Dungeon downtime is very hard to write. 75 stones and 1,000 gold. Well, I don't really need a well yet, so I am interested in keeping my place getting cleaned up, though. So I think we're gonna keep doing that. And we'll try to swing by Clint's later and get a, oh, what's it called? This geode correct. Hopefully there's 5 copper in it. If not, it's whatever. I love it when things are nice and quiet. Just peaceful times, you know? I need more days like this. So, I don't know, man. Like, for dungeon downtime, it's a lot harder for me because I've never been good at dungeon downtime. Because most of my dungeon runs are single session kind of things. Like, a dungeon run never really takes long. You get inside, you kill the guy, you leave. I'm gonna be doing a dungeon run here this Friday, and then if not next Friday, the Friday after, and then the Friday after that will also be a dungeon with my new party. So I'm definitely wall-to-walling it for the next month on my D&D games. Oh right, speaking of, I'm gonna try to abstain from recording on Fridays, but I'll still try to have a video up. I've been trying to keep a video going up every other day. Like, just a little bit of a channel update, because a lot of my stuff has to be recorded in advance. In fact, I think this video is not even going up today. I think it's going up tomorrow? What's today? It's the 8th? No, it should be going up the 10th. So, yeah, we're trying to keep these videos on a pretty consistent schedule now that we've figured out our target demographic, which is really cool. Really glad we were able to get that worked out. I don't remember what I was talking about. I think I was talking... Oh, right. But yeah, I got like wall-to-wall sessions going for dungeons, so I need to really work on my dungeon efforts. How am I already exhausted? It's not even noon! Oh, it's noon. It's just barely noon! I don't even got money to go get food. I hate this. Axe efficiency my ass. We'll go foraging. Foraging doesn't take any energy and I can eat my forageables. Yeah, I think I'm gonna keep my animal pens over here. Like, they're out of the way enough that it's not gonna be an issue. So come on, let me just get this last tree, dude. Last tree, come on. Alright, now we can go forage. We're gonna go south to forage though. Oh, but you have enough in your inventory to make 2 field snacks. And it's like, yeah, but I also want those seeds. So, maybe if we even get a chance for downtime, I'm gonna try to have them pick up some hobbies or stuff. Their characters need hobbies. Because that's always been the hardest part for my games, has been getting my players to actually roleplay, because they all say that they're role players and then none of them do it. And it's always like, well, now what are we doing, DM? And it's like, how come I'm having to describe everything your characters are doing? You do it yourself, you little bastards. I don't know what the fuck you're doing. If you've never eaten a daffodil, they're really good. Just make sure, or a dandelion. They're really good. Just make sure that you do not eat any that are being sprayed, because you will get very sick. Nice, I found a prehistoric scapula at surface level. Alright, we're gonna go forage, and then we can go back and maybe clean up 1 or 2 more trees. Those wild onions. You better bet I'm gonna go ahead and till some more land if they're just gonna pop up like that. No, dude, D&D is... It's an easy game to play, it's not an easy game to run. Like, my players... Ooh, I envy them some days, because my players don't really take notes, they don't put effort into any of that process, and it's kind of taxing that I'm running the game entirely. Maybe that's why my last game fell apart. I was starting to get very tired, low energy. Oh well. I got new players and new groups, so this should change my dynamic a bit, I hope. So well, one of my players, it seems they take extensive notes. They're always posting their notes in my server. I really like that player. Really cool guy. Good artist, too. One of these days I'll have to shout out his YouTube channel, but I'll do that when my account's a bit bigger. Probably in the first 30 seconds, because, oh, speaking of, I have a little bit of a thing planned. Here we are, close to the end of the video. And to anyone who's watched this far, thank you. Working with a bit of an artist, a music artist. And I'm hoping to give him a shout. He's an up-and-comer. So, in an upcoming video, if you can give me like a channel link or a channel video, we'll be doing a small preview to share. I'm looking forward to that. I like reaching out to these kind of people and talking to them. Very neat way to branch out. Let's see, so I could sell this dandelion. I could sell a leek, and I could sell a spring onion. Alright, I could sell 2 dandelion. Yes, good boy. Alright, and with that, we should be able to clear out this last stump, and these, probably these twigs on the ground. And we'll come in the next couple days and we'll clear out some of these stones as well. I might leave some of the trees, but who knows right now. There we go. Marnie realizing that the name Jack Goff is a sex joke, and that was a voice crack from hell. Hi, voice crack. Alright, and that is the last of our energy. I know what causes those voice crack. It's because my voice is dry, my throat, so this is your daily reminder to hydrate or die. You hear that good glug glug noise? It's not my friend Blowjob. That's my friend Water. This video is sponsored by Water. Hydrate or die. Alright, and there we go, we sleep for the night. Nice, nice, nice. Just a little bit of money on the top. Started from the bottom, now you're here. Let's see. What's the weather tomorrow? Queen of sauce, eh? Stir fry! I love it. Well, it'll be a beautiful sunny day on our next stream, because today is the last... You motherfucker! Get lost! There we go. Well, on the bright side, I had that one extra parsnip, so. Yoink. Watering pail, we can put the hoe away, and I want my pickaxe. Let me know down in the chat. Do you guys play D&D or any other tabletop? I know Pathfinder's kind of popular. The Goblin Slayer TTRPG is actually pretty good. Played that one once. I would have liked to play it more, but my players, well, that party was just kind of dysfunctional. They didn't like each other. Out of game, not in game. In game, they were fine-ish. It was a mess. Wow, isn't this pretty? Damn it. Blub, 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 blub. Oh, dude, I am so tired. Oh, wait a minute. I haven't eaten today. I have time to make lunch before work. That's alright. I guess breakfast for me, technically. Maybe. I don't even know anymore. All I know is this is a very good game to just kind of unwind with. Lose yourself a bit. You know, lose yourself to dance and all that. I need to grab that hoe. Not the hoe, the scythe. If you've ever used a scythe, it is a very scary process if you have no idea what you're doing. But it's a very relaxing one too. I recommend it. Makes yard work very easy if you have tall grass. If you don't have tall grass though, good luck. I am talking like you need like at least 6 inches of grass. I think you could get away with like 3, but still. Such a nice soundtrack too. Yeah, Concerned Ape really knows what he was doing with that music. If you were to go into a TTRPG though, what kind of race would you play? I've always been a bit more particular to the Dark Elves. I like playing Drow, but if I'm not playing D&D, it's usually a Dark Elf. Even in Skyrim, my preferred race is the Dark Elf, just because it's, yeah, it's a bit more interesting for me to play it that way. Something about the aesthetic, the fire, magic proclivity, I think is the right word for this. It always plays a bit better for me, because I also like playing those kind of builds. As opposed to in Skyrim, whenever I play as the High Elves, I absolutely hate it. I do not care one bit for the Altmer. I just think they look ugly, dude. They're ugly, they're pissed off, they're definitely... Like, that's where you get the knife ear stereotype from. You don't get it from the Dunmer, you get it from the Altmer. Even the Bosmer are, like, knife ear at the end of the day. Little tree bastards. It takes a full in-game month for trees to grow, so I try to leave as many of the saplings as I can. Unless it's been changed and it doesn't take the full month. I know that the fruit trees take a month. Which is why you want to get not the next season, but the next season's tree. Because here I am a week in, and if I were to do that, I would be missing a full week. So I already, if I were to buy anything for this season, I would want to buy a fall tree, just so it's ready by fall. Who knows? Maybe I'll change my mind and we'll keep this entire top half for crops. Or maybe we'll do crops for the whole thing. And it will all just be automated. And I just have to walk it every so often and clear out some produce and then just replace it with seeds. We might get to that point. Don't know yet. I'm definitely enjoying this run a lot more though, because I got to talk about D&D, and that's D&D is a bit of my favorite thing in the world. I really like D&D. D&D is fun, guys. It's really fun. There we go. I'm so glad using the scythe doesn't take energy. What I'm not glad about, I have come down here and I didn't even bother to grab an empty inventory. That's a high IQ play. More spring onion. Look at that. Oh shit. You know, my hand's very tired from the work yesterday. Because I was have to hand tap 50 parts, 52 parts, and each of them had 5 holes to hand tap, so that took almost the entire 10-hour shift to do. Nothing like hand tapping cast iron. I hate it. It's all good though. Couldn't imagine being upset about my job that I'm paid very well to do. All I know is I woke up at noon today. Like, you get home at 3, you're like, wow, I'm pretty tired. And then you stay up till like 4:30 anyway. It's like, wow, I'm pretty tired. And then at about 5 o'clock, you're finally dead asleep, and then you sleep till noon. I think I woke up at like 11:50. Yeah, it was about 11:50, because that's when I got out, showered, and all that. Which, let me know, you guys shower every day? If you don't shower every day, what's wrong with you? If you do shower every day, what's wrong with you? I have all these wild seeds. How long do they take? Nobody knows. Good boy. You're a very good boy. And you can go into there. Alright. Think I'm gonna just go and chop down the last of these, and then we can wrap up the day. But no, like, you guys let me know what you think about this. Like, is this a game you'd like to see me continue, or not? Would you like me to just focus on the damn game, or would you like me to just keep talking about stuff I'm interested in while we play? Because if I just talked about the game, there's going to be a whole lot of dead noise, dead silence, dead space, just because I am like, when I'm focused on a game and I'm just playing a game to play the game, there's not a lot of talk that goes on. Minecraft is a notoriously silent game for me. As in, every time I've tried to stream the game, it just never turned out for me. So I try to avoid that game. I really want to play this new mod list I've been running, because I made a mod list and it's actually really freaking fun. It's got like Divine Craft and create, not Divine Craft, Divine RPG, create, stuff like that. It's really, I'm living underground being a dwarf right now, just trying to get this factory up and running so that I can get back to the surface. My own little Undertale, if you will. But, you know, like, if you want me to just shut up and focus on the game, I'm trying to work with an editor's, yeah, that's going. We're trying to, like, stuff just takes time, you know? It's a process, it's a hassle, it's a hurdle. And it's a lot of learning, too. And learning is a good thing. Unfortunately for us, though, that sound is the sound of it getting late. So, instead of going to bed, we're just gonna go stand inside the house and we'll wait for the bed. And that's good enough. We're gonna want that out for our next run. Okay. I'll even do myself my future self a solid and fill it up. There we go. Let's put the dog one more time. He's a good boy. So yeah, you guys tell me what you think about this game. Like, I would be very excited to give this game a full shake. It takes about, it looks like about an hour 45, almost 2 hours to do a full week. It's probably going to turn into about 2.5 hours if I were to max out the day. But I mean, I can definitely talk for 2.5 hours. That's not a difficult thing for me to do if I have a topic to discuss, which using this roulette board's actually helped. But hey, for like this, for the for like downtime in general, yeah, like just make it matter to your players, dude. Make the quiet moments stand out. That's what the first Star Wars did great, and the last Star Wars suffered with. Is if it's just action, 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 action all the time, the players never get a chance to shine. They never get to develop their character. That's not fun for them. Like, they might have fun in the moment, but they don't remember the moment. They don't remember the story overall. All they remember is they were always going from thing to thing to thing to thing to thing, and it was just, you'll lose the forest for the trees, you know? So, when it comes down to what truly matters, those quiet moments where you're sitting there in front of your fire with your dog, you just unwind. Yo, barbarian, why did you decide to join us? And it's like, well, dragons ain't my village. And it's like, is that why you fight every lizard you can? And it's like, yeah, that's why I killed all those kobolds. And it's like, they offered peace. And it's like, I only came for war. And it's like, wow, that's deep. That's deep for you. And it's like, what about you, Ranger? Why are you here? And it's like, I wanted to see the world. I wanted to be a dragon tamer. And then the barbarian snorts. And it's like, what's so funny? And it's like, you can't tame those beasts. They're evil. What if their great arc is, at the end, the ranger tames a dragon? And not only does she tame a dragon, the barbarian even gets to ride it. Like, those are those quiet moments that make D&D stand out and matter. Your players will build off of their moments and their discussions, and that's good for them. It's healthy for them. That's where it should be, you know? And if you don't got that, what do you got? Nothing really. Nothing good. So, the quiet moments matter as much as the loud ones. And at the end of the day, that's what the downtime is for. So, for now, I thank you. We got some stuff coming up for the channel. We have passed. Geez, let's see. How many have we passed? Yeah, we're at 4350 right now. We are really growing in subscribers, and honestly, I am taken away. I'm just blown completely away by that. It is awesome. I didn't think I'd be doing this in a month. I didn't think I'd be able to record for a month. You guys truly are magnificent. So, thank you. I appreciate you guys for sticking here for the last hour and 45, 2 hours. And you know what? On our next episode, who knows what the topic will be, but I hope the topic's as fun as this one, because I had a blast, and I sure hope you guys did too. So, this is unfortunately your apathetic saint, not really having much to say, because I hate to break it to you, I don't really care, baby. But hey, at the end of the day, we did it live, as always. So, Day 8 of Spring, that'll be our next episode of Stardew Valley. Signing off.